Understanding intergenerational trauma and cultural memory, healing family and ancestral pain. Explore how intergenerational trauma shapes family and cultural memory, and learn ways to heal inherited emotional patterns for a healthier future. Chatting about generational trauma and cultural memory. You ever find yourself thinking about how some feelings or struggles just don't seem to be yours alone? Like maybe they've been passed down from your parents or even grandparents. That's actually a thing. It's often called intergenerational trauma or ancestral trauma, and it's pretty fascinating when you start to realize how much of what we carry isn't just individual, but truly collective across generations. So imagine this. Your family has this undercurrent of emotional patterns or even painful experiences that don't just disappear with one generation. Think about trauma like stress, grief, or even unresolved conflict that sticks around, bubbling under the surface, shaping the way each new generation thinks, feels, or acts, without them even fully knowing why. This concept of inherited trauma, sometimes known as transgenerational trauma or multigenerational trauma, explains why some family trauma seems like a shadow following family lines. It could be from big historical events like wars, displacement, or systemic oppression, or even more personal family struggles such as addiction, abuse, or sudden loss. These traumas embed themselves into cultural memory, which means it isn't just about what physically happened, but also the stories, behaviors, and emotional responses handed down. What's wild is that this trauma can be passed on in ways we don't usually expect, not only through stories or behaviors, but sometimes even biologically. Researchers are exploring how epigenetics might play a role, where traumatic experiences can affect gene expression, influencing stress responses in children born long after the event itself. This shows how complex and deep-rooted the impact can be. And you might be wondering, why does this matter so much? Well, understanding that you could be living with inherited trauma is empowering. It creates space for recognizing patterns, healing cycles that have been repeating in your family, and breaking free from unconscious behaviors that no longer serve you. If you want to explore this topic further and get practical insights into how to work with these emotional legacies, there's a great resource called The Generational Algorithm. It dives into how these emotional patterns evolve and offers ways to rewrite them for healthier futures. Definitely a must-read for anybody intrigued by family trauma and the patterns that come with it. Being aware of cultural memory, how entire communities carry the weight of past traumas, is also key. Some cultural traditions or collective experiences can keep memories alive, sometimes subtly impacting identity and emotional well-being. So, how do you start to heal from something that feels so big and invisible? Here are a few thoughts. Recognize the patterns. Notice recurring themes or emotions in your family or community without judgment. Learn the stories. Ask questions about your family history. Sometimes knowing is the first step. Create new narratives. Challenge old beliefs or behaviors that no longer serve your mental health. Seek support. Therapy or community groups centered on family and cultural trauma can be invaluable. The biggest takeaway is that while we might inherit trauma, we don't have to carry it forever. These emotional aftershocks from generations ago don't define your entire story, and with effort and awareness, healing is absolutely possible. All right, now I'm going to leave you with that book recommendation again. If you're curious and want something to really guide you through how to identify and begin rewriting those inherited traumas, check out The Generational Algorithm. It's an insightful read for anyone curious about multi-generational trauma and emotional healing. You can buy now on Amazon and start exploring how to reprogram those old, deep-seated emotional loops that might be quietly influencing your life. Thanks for hanging out and talking through this complex but important topic. It's one of those things that once you start understanding it, your whole perspective on family and healing shifts quite a bit. Take care and maybe think about what stories and emotions you're carrying and which ones you want to let go.